Shalom. All right. Sabbath and peace to all of you. Hebrews. It's a blessing and an honor to be here with all of you, praising the Most High and giving homage to the seventh day, Shabbat in the Hebrew, which is the Sabbath day. Okay. Every Sabbath, from Sabbath to Sabbath, we shall worship the Most High, thus saith the Heavenly Father. And it's truly a blessing to have this knowledge and wisdom for the Most High to remember the covenant that He has made with Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, our forefathers, and instill in us this wisdom to keep the Sabbath day holy. Okay? So, as always, we go into the portion on the Sabbath day, and the portion for this Sabbath will be Genesis 37:1 to Genesis 40:23. That's Genesis 37:1 to Genesis 40:23. This is the ninth portion. So without further ado, let's start with Colossians 3, verse 17, giving all praise to the Most High in the name of the Mashiach Yahushua.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the other one, Hamashiach, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Him.
Right, all things we do in word or deed or actions, right? That's what deed is. In your words and your actions, everything we do is in the name of Yahushua. Giving thanks to the Most High in the name of Yahushua. So we make sure we're in the right spirit. We're alive with the Father and the Son. All right, give me Isaiah 66. And 22. 66 verse 22.
Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall you remain before me, save the Most High.
Come on.
So shall your seed and your name remain.
Right. So who's he talking to? He's talking to Israel. So shall your seed and your name remain. The new heaven and new earth, when the Most High blesses this new society upon this earth, that's going to be an everlasting society. That's not going to end. Everybody understand that? The world in which we live today is going to come to an end. I know it seems like it will never end, right? Because you make it keep going on and on and on, right? But it is prophesied that this world is going to come to an end. But the world to come is an everlasting world. It's a world that will never end. So read that verse again.
Isaiah 66 and verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me.
Right. Shall remain before me. Read on.
Save the Most High.
Right.
So shall your seed and your name remain.
Right. So hold that and give me 1 John 2 and 15. For there to be a new heaven and earth, the heaven and earth that's here now has to be destroyed. Everybody understand that? Let's check this out.
First John chapter 2 and 15. Love not the world,
right?
Neither the things that are in the world.
Read on.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Come on.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes.
So this world he's talking about is a world that's based off of what? Lust. Right? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the desire of things, the wanting of everything. You want to be rich, you want to get this, you want to get that. Everything to gain for yourselves. That's what this world is based on. Self-gain. Right? Most I can get. They call it what? Capitalism, right? I can capitalize on everything. Right? So he said, if you love this world, the way this world is set up, that means the love of the Most High is not in you. Everybody understand that? Read on.
And the pride of life.
Pride of life, you got, what do they say, YOLO, right? You only live once. We got to do everything, taste everything, touch everything. Live this life to the fullest, right? This is what they say. Read.
Is not of the Father.
It's not of what?
Is not of the Father.
That's not of the Most High God. He didn't say YOLO. Right? He never told you to touch, taste, and experience everything. Those of you that are spiritual, you consider the life to come. You don't make too much of the life that you currently live. You consider that life to come. Read on.
But is of the world. And the world passeth away.
The world does what?
The world passeth away.
The world passeth away. What does that mean, the world pass away? It's going to be what? Destroyed. It's going to pass away. Just like you might have had siblings that passed away. They're no longer with us, huh? So that's what the Most High is saying about this world. It's going to pass away. The world pass away. Just like we read, he said he's going to make a new heaven and a new earth. All right? So the world in which you're living in has to pass away. Read on.
And the lust thereof.
And the lust thereof. What does that say? This society and the lust thereof. That lustful mind state. Right? I got to get or gain for your personal gain. Right? They teach our people in the church system, a lot of the prosperity ministry that's out there, right? That personal gain is a blessing from the Most High God. And if you're really blessed, then you have a lot of personal gain. Is that true according to Scripture? Well, don't we need money? Right? I mean, don't you comfortable in your recliner and your big screen TV? I see y'all. We're not here. Y'all laid up. Y'all doing all right, right? So what are you saying here? Hold that. So now you're holding two things. You're holding Isaiah 66 and 22, and you're also going to hold 1 John 2:15. Okay. Now we're going to go to Timothy's. $2.15.
First Timothy chapter 2 and 15. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved.
Like here. 2 Timothy's 2:15. I said it wrong. 2 Timothy's 2:15.
2 Timothy chapter 2 and 15. Study to shew thyself approved unto the Most High.
Come on.
A workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Read on.
But shun.
But what?
But shun.
But shun. What does it mean to shun something? Put it down. Ignore it. Somebody brings up, you shun something, you don't deal with that. Right? If somebody tries to give you something that you shun, you push it away. Everybody understand that? But shun what? Read.
Profane and vain babblings.
That's profane and vain speech. Right? Read on.
For they will increase unto more ungodliness.
Read on.
And their word will eat as doeth a canker, of whom is Hymenaeus.
Right.
And Philetus.
Right.
Who concerning the truth have erred.
Who concerning the truth have erred. Read.
Saying that the resurrection is past already.
Right.
And overthrow the faith of some.
Right, because some people might say this is the kingdom. It's all good. What more are you looking for? He said you got to shun that mind state that this is it. Some people think there's no better than America. America, that's it, man. You get here, you made it. You got to shun those vain and profane babblings. This is not it. The kingdom is yet to come. Righteousness has to reign upon the planet Earth. Everybody understand this? Don't settle for the little comfortabilities of this world. The scriptures tell us that what? A gift destroys the heart. Right or wrong? A lot of us have received a gift and then we say, you know what, it's not so bad here. Right? Meanwhile, our people getting shot down, no justice, no peace, no what's the latest one is what? Black Lives Matter, right? Unarmed, right? We're disproportionately occupying the jail cells. You may not be in jail, but if you're not in there, does that mean that your fellow brother innocently should be allowed to be in there? And the fact that you can't do nothing about it, right, reminds you that you're in a captive state. Where's your governor, your senator, your president, your leader, your king, right? Where's the righteous rulership upon the earth? Where's those? Where in the UN are you represented? They call it the United Nations, huh? Where are you represented in the United Nations? Who's in there for you? Who you got in there? Where's the Akim in there? Where's the brother in there holding it down for the Hebrews? Right? He's not in there because you're not represented. Okay. Because the influence of the Heavenly Father is oppressed in this kingdom. So it's our duty, right, as children of the Most High, to shine that light, to show that light, and not give in to the ways of this world. The separation that you must have in your heart, your mind, your soul, your spirit. You got to have a separation. You got to, like, you know what, I'm going to live according to the Father, not according to man, not according to this society. Especially in this time of the year when Esau, he's promoting his what? His holidays, right? His which all are based on either some sort of demonic or some sort of evil achievement, right? You know, we just came out of what Thanksgiving, or it should be betterly called Thanks Taken, because no one gave them anything, right? And where they took over this land from the natives that were there and destroyed them and killed them and diseased them and enslaved them. And then they made a holiday about it, and everybody sits around the turkey, which represents the head of the tribe of Wampanoag, tribe of the Gads that were here in this land, right? And what's coming up next? Christmas, right? Which has nothing to do with Christ at all, right? Which is a pagan holiday, which really starts out with the Nimrod spirit being put in a tree and all kind of demonic, Hamitic madness, right? Has nothing to do with us as a people. Has nothing to do with Christ. Christ was a Jew, huh? So what does that have to do with him? All right, he was of the tribe of Judah, of the 12 tribes of Israel, like some of you are here. He was a brother. But in time, you know, our oppressors have opened our book and have painted themselves and our likeness, and all these things have come about. The Bible prophesies about all these things. All right. But we just got to be mindful not to fall into the ways of this world. Okay? Go back now to 1 John 2:15. Read that again.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2:15. Love not the world. Neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Right.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Read.
And the world passeth away,
right,
and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever.
Abide how long?
Abideth forever.
He that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. Okay. So it behooves us to do the will of the Heavenly Father because this world is going to pass away. All right? The Most High is not for this world. God is not going to bless America no matter how much times they say it. Okay? No matter how many times they utter that, God bless America, it's not going to happen. How do we know this? Give me St. John 17 and verse 9. St. John 17 and verse. You can drop 1 John. We're done with 1 John. Get St. John 17 verse 9.
The book of John chapter 17 and verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world.
I pray what?
I pray not for the world.
Christ is saying here, I don't pray for the world. I pray for them. Let's see who that them is. Read on.
But for them which thou hast given me.
Which thou hast given me. Which the Most High has given. Hamashiach Yahushua. Read on.
For they are thine.
Because they belong to you, O Yahweh. Read on.
And all mine are thine.
All that are of Christ is of the Most High. Who the Most High chose, that's who Christ came for. Everybody understand that? Who did the Most High choose? Can you prove it? Shawala? Isaiah 44 verse 1. Let's get that real quick. Isaiah 44 verse 1. He made a bold statement. He said the Most High chose Israel. Let's see if that's true.
The book of Isaiah chapter 44 verse 1.
Read.
Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, right? And Israel, whom I have chosen.
Whom I have what?
Whom I have chosen.
And Israel, whom I have chosen. So a lot of us might think we chose to serve God. He chose you a long time ago. How long ago were you chosen, Yitazakar? When did he choose you? There it is, brothers on the spirit. Brother got the right answer. He said he was chosen before he was born. Could you prove that? Can any of our sisters prove that they were chosen before they was born? Any of my sisters? My studious sisters that have studied. All right, can the brothers help out the sisters then? Not you. Not you. All right. Baruch. Jeremiah 1 and 5. Let's get that real quick. Jeremiah 1 and 5. Write these scriptures down. These are very important foundation scriptures to understand why we in 2018 are keeping the Sabbath day and we're getting prepared for the Hanukkah on Sunday, right? On the first day of the week. Why are we doing these things? Read that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 5.
Read.
Before I formed thee in the belly,
right?
I knew thee.
I what?
I knew thee.
Before you were formed in the belly, you were known. Read on.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb,
before you was born of your mother, read on.
I sanctified thee.
He already sanctified you. Read on.
And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
And he ordained Jeremiah a prophet unto the nations. Before he cry his first cry. So don't be surprised or wonder why you feel compelled to serve the Most High God and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You might have just found out in your 20s, your teens, your 30s, some of us our 40s, but the Most High always knew you. He always knew you. He waiting on you. Right? For you to wake up to who you are. Read on.
Then said I, Most High, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child.
Right, he said, man, I don't know what to say. You want me to be a prophet? I don't know what to say. This is what Jeremiah was telling the Most High. Like a lot of us say to the Most High, well, I'm just this person or that person. I don't know what to say. Read on.
But the Most High said unto me, say not, I am a child.
Right?
For thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee.
Come on.
And whatsoever I command thee,
right,
thou shalt speak.
Whatever the Most High command in the scripture, that's what you speak. Everybody understand that? So now, you should be able to talk to anybody about the Most High. You don't have to be an ordained minister, priest, to talk of the Father. Whatever the Most High command thee in the scripture, say that. Read on.
Be not afraid of their faces.
Don't be afraid when they look at you crazy. When you tell them, listen, man, you shouldn't be celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas. Right? You ain't supposed to be eating that swine's flesh. They're going to look at you like, what? My baby back ribs? Right? Read on.
For I am with thee.
Because what?
For I am with thee.
The Most High is with you. Everybody understand this? If the Most High is with you, who could be against you? Right? Who could overpower you if the Most High got your back? So there's nothing for you to worry about. Everybody understand this? You speak the word of the Most High. Right? You speak the word. When should we speak the word of the Most High? Who knows when? Who knows when is it the appropriate time to speak the word of the Most High? When is the appropriate time? Greg? Huh? All the time. Do you have a scripture on that? I need scripture. It's a good answer, but I need scripture. Right? I need scripture. I'm always going to need scripture. You got, okay. Support? 1 Peter's. Say it again. 4:11. Sister, give me scripture. I see. Ain't nothing better. All right. 1 Peter 4:11. Okay, read that. We can go with that one.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 11. Mm-hmm. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High.
Right?
If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Most High has giveth.
Right?
That the Most High in all things may be glorified through Yahushua Hamashiach, through Hamashiach Yahushua, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
All right. Hallelujah. Good scripture, sister. Heavy scripture. Anybody else got one for me? But that's a heavy one. All right. Get 2 Timothy 4 and 2. All right. I like that 1 Peter though. Now give me 2 Timothy 4 and 2.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
Preach the word.
Do what?
Preach the word.
Do what?
Preach the word.
Read it. Read on.
Be instant in season.
Right.
Out of season.
Wait a second. It said be instant in season and out of season. So what is that? What's another word for in season, out of season? All the time. Year round. You can't say this is not teaching season. Right? Read on.
Reprove.
We show people. Read on. Rebuke, correct people. Read on.
Exhort.
Encourage people. Read on.
With all long suffering.
With all long suffering. That means what? Take your time. Be patient. They may not get it right away. They might look at you crazy. But you gotta be long suffering. Everybody understand that? You can't get frustrated. I'm showing you in the Bible. Don't eat it. And you start yelling at somebody, right? And then you're like, damn, why are you so aggressive? Right? You got to be long suffering. What does that mean? You got to be patient. You got to suffer them a long time. They still may not see it. You might go to there. You might say, hey, listen, modest apparel. They might be fighting with it. It might take them a long time to put them tight pants away. Some of these sisters might be talking to a friend. It might take them a long time. Be long suffering. Don't rush it. Okay? Continue just to be encouraging. Hold on a second. Read on.
And doctrine.
And doctrine. Read on.
For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine.
And that's the time we're living in. Most of our people don't want to hear what you have to say when you come out the Bible. Is that true? Right or wrong? When you pull out the Bible, what kind of response you usually get? Right? Huh? What? I get like, right? Here you go with the Bible again. This guy think he Moses. Right? Now they want to crack jokes on you. Right? It's all right, man. Long suffering. Right? Sometimes we overlook that word long suffering. None of we understand what that means, man. Long suffering. That means you got to deal with, things that you would rather not deal with for a long time. Suffering. Long suffering. Right? That you just, it may not be what you want. A lot of our people, in this society, we taught to just cut people off, man. Man, I don't have time for that person. That's it. You say it to them a couple of times, they don't want to hear. Well, listen, you don't even want to deal with a person no more. You got to be long suffering. Yes, they're not hearing. Yes, they might even mock it when they first hear it. Don't worry about it. Don't take it personal. Don't get angry. Say, all right, you'll see one day. That's why I say, may not be today, but you'll see one day. Right? Because your disbelief ain't going to change the word of the Most High, huh? That ain't going to change anything. The word's still written. Whether you like it, understand it, believe it, accept it, or not. It is written. Thus saith the Most High. You can't run around from that. All right? But you, in your patience, in your spirit, you got to be patient. Right? Because you can get angry, you can get agitated. I understand that spirit because, listen, we all men here, we all in the flesh. We can all get agitated when you're trying to show somebody something they refuse to see it. But if scriptures say we must be long-suffering. Right? Read on.
For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine.
Come on.
But after their own lusts, shall they heap to themselves teachers.
Right. A lot of people, they go to what? Oh, I don't like you brothers because y'all teach this. And I'd rather over there because they teach that. Right? Whatever's comfortable. Because they heap to themselves teachers. Read on.
Having itching ears.
Because their ears, when your ears itch, what do? You scratch it. Why you scratch it? It soothes it. It makes you feel better. People want to be made to feel better. They don't want to be told that they're wrong. Right? But why is it they're wrong? Should they not be told? Read on.
And they shall turn away their ears from the truth.
Right.
And shall be turned unto fables.
Unto what?
Unto fables.
Right? Unto fables. What are fables? Fairy tales. Right? Jesus loves everybody. That's a fable. Okay? Christmas, a fable. Thanksgiving, fables. Lies. Fairy tales. Right? All you got to do is call the name of Jesus. Everything going to be all right. You don't got to keep those laws. Fable. You got to know the difference between the truth and a lie. The truth is written. The lies just come off somebody's head and out of their own mind. There's many lies. There can only be one truth. Everybody understand that? Okay. So we prepare ourselves. Prepare yourselves for the unbelievers. Give me Romans 3:3.
The book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 3.
Come on.
For what if some did not believe?
What if some did not believe? Read on.
Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect?
Right. The fact that they don't believe, will that change anything that's written in the Bible? It's still written, whether you believe it or not. Read on.
Most High forbid.
Most High forbid. Said no, that ain't gonna change nothing whether they don't believe. Read on.
Yeah, let the Most High be true.
Right.
For every man a liar.
Right. Read that again. Yea.
Yea, let the Most High be true.
Right.
But every man a liar.
But every man is a liar. When mankind, man, woman, speak out of their own mind, their own desires, their own ideals, you're lying if it's against the will of the Most High God. Everybody understand that? Nobody's above that. We're all in that book together. We're all in it together. All right? Read.
As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings.
Right, so you need to speak it as it is written, so that you can be justified in what you're saying. You cannot add or take away from the Bible, Khan. What happens to you if you add or take away from the Bible? You're a fool. No, stone him. What does the scripture say if you add or take away from the Bible? Everything is written. Every answer is in the scriptures. You got it? Okay. I'm on. That's right. Revelations 22, verse 19. Let's see what happens if you add or take away from the Bible.
The book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 19.
Come on.
And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of the prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book, which he which testifieth these things.
Hold on a second. Start with 18. Read 18, verse 18.
For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book.
Right.
If any man shall add unto these things,
right, the
Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in the book.
Yeah, first and foremost, if you add onto the Bible, if you say, oh, well, it's 2018, so we got to make addendums to the Bible, because it doesn't apply to today. This applies to the past and the future, but don't apply to today. How does that make sense? That something you can read applies to the past and the future, but not today. Righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. Right? He said, I am the beginning and the end. Mashiach said, he said he don't change. We got to be mindful of these things. The Most High does not change. Come. Read it again.
For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book.
Right. We don't want the plagues that are written in this book. What are some of the plagues written in the book? Leprosy. He said leprosy. What else is a plague written in the book? The Bosh, whatever that is. They don't sound good. Right?
Shortened days.
That's not a plague. You want the Most High shorten the days. Speed of the time. Let's get out of here. Right? What's a plague written in the book?
Blindness.
You said blindness.
Famine.
You said famine? Yeah. Okay. Malachi? Huh? Bugs? You're going into Egypt right now. I see y'all talking about the plagues of Egypt. All right? Give me Zechariah 14, verse 12. Let's talk about a plague that we're not going to survive. But we don't want that plague to be added on to us. Read that.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 14, and verse 12.
Come on.
And this shall be the plague.
This shall be the what?
This shall be the plague.
And this shall be the plague. Read on. Let's see what that plague is. Read.
Wherewith the Most High will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Right, all that's going to stand against the will of the Most High God and his people. Read on.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
What does it mean to consume? Huh? Burn. Disintegrate. Right? Dust. Right? Read on.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
And their eyes shall consume away in their very skull. That must be a serious heat. Read on.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Read on.
And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Most High shall be among them.
A great tumult from the Most High shall be among us. Meaning the Most High will rise up against those that are against him and his children. A great tumult will rise up. Read.
And they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of the neighbor.
Right. What's going to happen? What's that? What does that sound like when everybody fighting? What is that? War. That's a plague right there. War, destruction, fire, disintegrating heat. Read.
And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem.
Right.
And the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver, and apparel in great abundance.
Right. So what? He's talking about, the heathen going to gather around and try to battle against us, but it's not going to help. They're going to bring their riches in. They're going to bring their spoil to the children of Israel. That's ultimately what's going to take place. So that's a plague you don't want added to you, so don't add to the Bible, come? Go back to Revelations 11 and now read 19. 22 and 19. Revelations 22, 19.
The book of Revelation, chapter 22 and 19. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book.
That's right. What? You can be out of that list. You don't want your name out of the book of life, come? We all in this thing for that salvation, man. For that world to come. Read.
He which testified these things saith, surely I come quickly, Amen. Even so come the other one, Yahushua.
That's right. Even so come the Mashiach Yahushua, who testified these things. So we must testify these things, right? Testify means what? Speak. Right? We must speak of these things. It must come out of your mouth. All right? We can't control everything that come in our ears, but we can control what comes out of our mouth. Okay? So make sure what you speak and what you say is of the Most High God and of Torah. Okay? Go back now, all the way back. Isaiah 66 and 22, where this whole thing started.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth.
Right, so we established that this earth that we live in now, the time period that we live in, the society upon the earth that we currently reside in must go away so we can have a new one. Right, read on.
Which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Most High.
Right.
So shall your seed and your name remain.
Right, and Israel shall remain, our seed shall remain. Read on.
And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another,
right,
and from one Sabbath to another,
come on,
shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Most High.
So we know that's on earth because we in the flesh on earth, come. So all flesh shall worship the Most High every new moon and every Shabbat day. That's the day we're looking forward to. That's the kingdom that we so earnestly desire. Let's start the portion for the Shabbat day. The portion starts in Genesis, 37th chapter, verse 1. Who remembers last week? Last week we just went over the lineage of Esau and all the dukes of Esau that was born, generations of Edom. Edom is Esau, come? All right, so we should all be able to prove that, understand that, all right? That Esau is Edom. Idumea. Okay. You see doctrines that say Edom, and there's so many doctrines out there about Esau. It's crazy right now. But his name was first Esau, and then his name was changed to Edom when he ate of the red pottage. Okay. So the Edomites today is the so-called white man, the so-called Aryan race, the so-called Caucasian. He comes by other names. You know, if he's in France, he calls himself French. If he's in Spain, he calls himself Spanish. Right? He calls himself English in England. Comes to America and calls himself American. Everywhere he goes, right, he comes with a different name. Like, it's like a chameleon, you know? It's hard to keep track of him. Right? He blends in amongst other nations, but you will know him from his deeds and from his works. That's how you know that the spirit of Esau is among us. All right? As you read the prophecy, you learn of the deeds, his deeds, what he's going to do on the earth, then you'll be sure to know where he is. All right? Let's start with Genesis 37, verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 37, and verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan.
In the land of Canaan. Can I get Canaan up on my screen? The land of Canaan. Jacob was dwelling in the land of Canaan. All right? Oh, man, we out of here for real. All right? Jacob is, right? Chariots is parked outside? All right, hallelujah. All right. Can I get the land of Canaan? I know you had it right there. See that right there? Kahan. Right? The 12 tribes in Canaan. All right, the land of Canaan. Today, this land is called Israel. But biblically, this land was called Canaan. All right? Why was this land called Canaan? Who was in there? The Canaanites. Who are the Canaanites? Descendants of who? Ham. All right. You guys are scholars, man. All right. You can't fool you guys. All right. Let's read.
Verse 2. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren.
Right.
And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives.
Right.
And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report.
So, Bilhah and Zilpah was two of his father's wives. How many wives his father had? How many wives? 4. So, Bilhah and Zilpah was, and Joseph, right, were what? Feeding the flocks, right? Read on.
Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors.
Right.
And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him.
Right. And
could not speak peaceably unto him.
Right. So what? What was happening amongst the brothers? Jealousy, envy, right? They just wanted the robe. They wanted the love that he was getting. Why was Joseph favored over the other sons? Because of who? Hold on, because of who? Because of Rachel. What was it about Rachel?
She can conceive.
She took a long time to conceive. She did. Is that why she was favored, though?
He always desired her from the beginning, from the father.
Right? He desired Greg?
Yeah, he loved her for 14 years.
That's right. He loved her.
She was beautiful.
She was beautiful. Right? That's what the scripture says. They didn't just say she was beautiful. How beautiful was she? Right? It didn't say stunning. It says she was very beautiful. Right? Yeah. Yes, he had 7 years. I'm going to correct that. I get there.
He worked 7 years and got his sister. He said, I give you my youngest, but the oldest is not married. And he had to work 7 more years to get married.
Are you sure about that?
I believe so.
Let's look at it. Let's look at it. That's a popular misconception. That's why I allowed it to be, because maybe somebody else feels that way as well. So let's look at that real quick. In Genesis 29 chapter. Now he did work 14 years. That is correct. But let's look at the marriages and see how the marriages took place. First read 29 and 20.
The book of Genesis, chapter 29, verse 20. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
So he worked 7 years, and he said, give me my wife now. My days fulfilled. I did my part. Give her a woman. Read on.
And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast.
Right.
And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter. He took Leah, his daughter.
He took Leah instead of Rachel. Read on.
And brought her to him.
Right.
And he went in unto her.
So he brought her to the bedchamber, and Jacob slept with Leah instead of Rachel. Everybody understand that? Read.
And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for an handmaid.
Right, and Zilpah was going to be her assistant, her handmaid. And in our times in royalty, our daughters, when they left our house, we gave them someone to help them. Why? Because they're going to do what? They're going to conceive what? Children. And when they conceive children, they need a help in the house. They need somebody to help them. Right? Read.
And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah.
Right?
And he said to Laban, what is this thou hast done unto me?
Right?
Did not I serve with thee for Rachel?
Yeah, didn't I do these 7 years of work for Rachel, and you give me Leah? Read on.
And wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?
You have tricked me. Why did you trick me? Read on.
And Laban said, it must not be done in our country,
right,
to give the younger before the firstborn.
So Laban said, listen, Leah's older than Rachel. She must get married before Rachel. Hold on, read on.
Fulfill her week.
Fulfill her what?
Fulfill her week.
How long is a week? 7 days. He said fulfill her week. What does that mean? That's talking about what we call today the honeymoon. Right? We call it the honeymoon today. Right? Fulfill her week means go away, be with her for the week. Right? And then what?
And we will give thee this also for the service which thou hast served with me yet 7 other years.
Right. I said, listen, and I'll give you Rachel, but thou hast to serve me another 7 years. Right? Read on.
And Jacob did so.
Right.
And fulfilled her week.
Right.
And he gave him Rachel,
right,
his daughter, to wife also.
Right. So he gave her Rachel after her week. But then he worked another 7 years, but he already had Rachel those 7 years. He had Rachel and Leah the next 7 years. So he didn't have to wait another 7 years for Rachel. He just had to fulfill Leah's week. Then he gave him Rachel. Then he had to work another 7 years, but he had his wives. Everybody understand that? All right. So now when it was time for him to leave, he left with both of his wives. Everybody understand that? All right. So he didn't work 14 years but he kind of did. You got to look at it. But he had her already. So he did work 14 years, but he didn't have to wait 14 years. Greg. When did he blame it on alcohol? He said, you beguiled me. He said to Laban, you tricked me. It wasn't about no alcohol. Well, it's a feast. I'm sure he might have had a drink or two. Right? In a feast. Right? Right? Lot. That's Lot that guy was drunken. Lot's daughters made him drunk and slept with him, but not Jacob. Jacob was, he was having a great time, a feast. He about to lay with his wife. Now people might say, well, yeah, he didn't know that wasn't Leah. He didn't know that wasn't Rachel. Right? I know that's the thought pattern that we might say, hey. we could come with many different scenarios on why he went ahead and slept with Leah and did not realize that wasn't Rachel till the morning. He said when the morning came, he was like, "Oh, that's not Rachel." So I don't know what was going on that night, but it's a good possibility that he was under his brown bottle, but we don't know, right? We are speculating, right? Right? We are speculating from that point on. We don't know what he was under, right? But he wasn't under Rachel, right? So, right? But he did get him after the week. He did get Rachel after the week, and then had to work another 7 years. So I just wanted to clarify that. So yes, he did work 14 years, but he didn't have to wait 14 years for her. He worked 7 years. He got Leah. He took him a week. Then he got Rachel, and then he worked another 7 years for the fact that he had Leah, okay, for his wife. For the fact that he had Rachel for his wife. Con? All right, let's go back. So the answer to the question that I posed before is because he loved Rachel more, because Rachel was the one that he was desiring. He was not desiring Leah. He didn't even meet Leah yet when he was desiring Rachel. Rachel was the one that met him at the well. Everybody remember that? And that's the one he came to the house for. He was given Leah, but he never desired to have Leah. He desired to have Rachel. So when Rachel finally got pregnant, Leah then had how many children before Rachel got pregnant? How many? 6. She has 6 children, right? And then Rachel finally gave birth, okay? Zilpah had children, Bilpah had, everybody, all the wives had children. Rachel had none. Everybody understand that? So when she finally had her first child, that's Joseph. So that's why Joseph was what? He was risen higher than his brothers, because it was an amazing thing to have for her to have Joseph, right? And when she had Joseph's brother, what happened to her? She died, right? She died right after the childbirth. So that's it. So that's the 2 from his Rachel, right? Whom he desired the most. Okay, everybody following? Greg? It didn't say she wasn't beautiful. The words say that she's tender-eyed, right? Now I don't know what I'm not too sure what tender-eyed means. But it does imply that she was not as beautiful as Rachel, right? Right? It doesn't say she did, all Israel daughters, all our daughters of Zion are beautiful, okay? So I would not imagine that she was less than beautiful. Because this is what scriptures say. The scriptures talk about the women of Israel comparing to the women of the other nations, correct? The scripture. Let's look at that scripture real quick. Yeah, Judith 10:19. Yeah, before Greg get himself in trouble. Look at Judith 10, verse 19. I got your back, brother. All right, Judith 10:19. Judith, right here. 10 and 19. It's right there.
The book of Judith, chapter 10 and verse 19.
Right.
And they wondered at her beauty,
right,
and admired the children of Israel because of her.
Right. They admired the children of Israel because of her. Judah is a woman of the children of Israel. Right. They admired the kingdom because of how beautiful she was. They admired all Israel. Read on.
And everyone said to his neighbor,
what did they say?
Who would despise this people,
right,
that have among them such women?
Right, that have among them such what?
Such women.
Such women. Women is plural for woman, come? So they wasn't just looking at her. They said, who could despise these people that have such women among them? Meaning that a lot of the Israelite women were beautiful, right? More beautiful than what the other nations were used to seeing. So they were like, wow, look at these women that Israel got, right? Because when you read about Sarah, what was the problem? He didn't want to roll around with Sarah. Why? Right? Why did she lie and tell Sarah was his sister, Abraham? Because why? Right. What did Isaac do with Rebekah? Same thing. So that's how it's a trend in Israel that our women were considered very beautiful. Everybody understand that? All right. All right. So there's no need to be out there looking at Esau and these other nations. All right. Right. We got, as a priest always say, we got 12 flavors. Stay in Israel. All right. Now let's go back. All right. All right. So now she was tender-eyed. She wasn't as beautiful as Rachel to Jacob. Okay, Jacob favored Rachel's look. Okay. So now let's get back to Genesis 37:2.
The book of Genesis, chapter 37 and verse 2. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report.
Right, so these were their sons, the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah's sons. That's who he was with. Okay, when you learn the breakdown of who had which children, you can look at that. Look that up in Genesis 35 and verse 25. Bilhah's children are who? Dan and Naphtali. And Zilpah's children are who?
Gad and Asher.
Right, Gad and Asher. So Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher is who Joseph was with. Right? Everybody understand that? Because he was with the children of those two wives. All right, read.
His father's wives, and Joseph brought unto his father their evil report.
Come on.
Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors.
Right.
And when his brethren saw that their fathers loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him.
Right.
And they could not speak peaceably unto him.
So what? Dan, Naphtali, right? Asher and Gad was giving Joseph a hard time because they realized that Joseph was loved more than the other brothers. So they was getting on him. All right? Read on.
And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more.
Right. He had a dream, and when he told the dream to his brethren, they even had more problems with him. Let's see what the dream was. Read.
And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood around about, and made obeisance to my to my sheaf. Obeisance to my sheaf.
Right? What does that mean? Obeisance means that they bowed down to his sheaf. Right? Read.
And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams.
Right, so they thought he was being real proud. Right? They said not only they already had a problem with him because Jacob favored him, then he's going to have a dream talking about all his brothers going to bow down to him? Oh, he was definitely not, they was not feeling him right now. They said this guy is real, he's real, proud? Right? It's sibling rivalry, man. Right? It's just very popular amongst, families, right? That siblings don't get along. But to make things worse is when they feel like one sibling is think they're higher and mightier than the rest of them. Right? Or get favored by the parents. Right? Read.
And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, The sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me.
Right.
And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth?
Right.
And his brethren envied him. But his father observed the saying.
Right. So his father rebuked him at first. What are you saying? What kind of dream is that? Right. But then his father thought about it and said, you know what? He's not in control of his dream. Right. You know, because his father was wise to realize. At first, he was like, what, me and your mother is going to bow down to you? He was like, what are you talking about? Right? But he had to think about that. So wait a minute, he had a dream. He didn't say, he didn't say that this was his thought. Something might come to you in a dream. You don't have a control of your dream. Come on. But what we learned about dreams, give me Job. Give me the book of Job. Was it 8 and 32? Give me this. 33:14. Sorry, 33:14. 33:14. Job 33:14.
The book of Job, chapter 33 and verse 14.
Come on.
For the most high speaketh once, yet twice, yet man perceiveth it not.
Right.
In a dream.
In a what?
In a dream.
In a dream,
In a vision of the night.
In a vision of the night.
When deep sleep falleth upon men.
Right. When you laid out, the Most High brings something to your mind when you get in your rest. Read on.
In slumberings upon the bed.
Read on.
Then he openeth the ears of men.
Right.
And sealeth their instruction.
Right. So something that Jacob was being shown by the Most High. Jacob realized that this might not be from him. This might be from the Most High, this dream, that we're all bowing down to Joseph. All right, let's go back to Genesis. So that's why Jacob said he took heed to that dream. He took heed to what was told to him. Right, verse 12, 37 and 12. Genesis 37, verse 12, that's where we at. Read.
And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem.
Right.
And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, here am I. And he said to him, go, and I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he went out of the vale of Hebron, and came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou?
Right. And
he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where thy feed their flocks.
Right.
And the man said, they are departed hence, for I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him.
Uh-huh.
And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh.
Right. So they start calling him a dreamer. Right. So you can tell they were just throwing a lot of shade at him at this point. Right. And but notice that his brethren went to go feed the flocks. Where was Joseph? He was at home. Right, with his parents. So he said, go check on them and then come back and bring me word. So he didn't have that duty of feeding the flocks along with his brethren. So that for all these reasons, they knew that Joseph was being favored. So Joseph also being the youngest, right? Because how old was he when we read in the second verse? He was 17 years old. So he's a teenager. The rest of his brothers is well older than him. Okay, read.
Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say, some evil beast hath devoured him.
So they start conspiring murder to murder their brother. All right, which is against Torah. So right now, the Most High is not with them in their thoughts. Right, their thoughts are contrary to the word of the Father. But the Most High, he's above all things. Even when wickedness is going down, the Most High is right in the midst of it. Everybody understand that? Nothing happens without the Most High sanctioning. Everybody understand that? Let's prove that real quick before we go further in this story. Get Amos 3 and 6. And then give me Isaiah. But first give me Amos.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid?
Read on.
Shall there be evil in a city and the Most High have not done it?
Right. So just like the trumpet blows, and it's to warn the people. When the trumpet blows in the city, it's like the sirens today. When the sirens go off in the park, everybody's warned, right? What's coming? Lightning is coming. You know, seek shelter, leave the park, right? So that's how the horns were in our day. When the horn blew, it was alert to let you know something is coming and you need to clear it. Okay? So shall evil be done in the city and the Most High have not known it? No. Any evil go down in the city, the Most High is aware of it. Everybody understand that? All right, now give me Isaiah. $45:7? Yeah, okay. 45:7.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 7. I form the light and create darkness.
Right.
I make peace and create evil. I, the Most High, do all these things.
Right. So I, the Most High, do all these things. So when evil goes down, is the Most High present? When evil goes down, is the Most High present? Come on, you got to notice. All right, because they'll have you in the church mentality is what? The guy is fighting against Satan and they're on two different sides and he don't know what Satan is doing. And okay. No. Okay. The Most High is in control of all them spirits. Come? All right. He created the light and the dark, the good and the evil. Right? He created the evil for us to what? For us to refuse it. Right? Why? What's the point of him giving you a weapon and you ain't got a target? Right? That makes no sense. I'm walking around with a weapon. I ain't got no target. All right? I need to have something to battle against. Yeah? Did he put the evil spirit on who? There was a spirit on him. Anytime evil is done, there's a spirit on him, right? But now, for an evil spirit to be put upon you, right, you first have to what? Right, you have to receive it. You have to have something in you that makes you receive that evil spirit. So the envy that was on them allowed that evil spirit to come upon them. When you have envy on you, that opens up the door for evil to be upon. Now you start thinking other evil things. You know what I'm saying? Just like what? Just like Saul. Come on. Just like Saul. Absolutely. Right? Most High reserve you for wickedness because you have envy and strife and malice on your mind. All right? So let's go back. So because they were already envying their brother, they already had hatred for their brother in their heart. So they was already in the wrong spirit towards their brother. Most High just elevated that spirit upon them. Okay?
There's brothers who say that was off for Jacob. That was off for Jacob to have more love for Joseph over his other brothers.
Right. And I mean, and it's not off. Right? Because it's in the power of man to favor something. That's not wicked to favor something. He didn't say he hated his other sons. He said he had more love for Jacob, meaning that he favored Jacob more than the other sons, right? That's not off. You can love all your children, right? But it's almost like we look at Isaac with Esau and Jacob. Isaac favored who? Esau. Rebecca favored who? Jacob. They had favorites. They favored one or the other child, right? One that kind of interacts a certain way, right? Or for whatever reason it is. The reason for him favoring, for Jacob favoring Joseph wasn't so much about Joseph. It was about who? It was about Rachel. Because Rachel was that wife that he favored.
Even though he favored Joseph,
right?
And he thought Joseph was wrong, he rebuked him.
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
yeah.
That get away with it.
It wasn't a wicked type of favoring where he was just allowing him to do whatever he wanted to do, all kind of spirit like that. It was just that because who his mother was, he had a little bit more favor. That's all. But he blessed all his children, and you're going to see that he blessed all his children. All right? And he had love for all his children. All right? Let's read.
Verse 20. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, right, and cast him into some pit.
Right? So he said, let's kill him and throw him in the pit. Read.
And we will say, some evil beasts have devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands.
He did what?
And he delivered him out of their hands.
Right, so Reuben wasn't down with this program. Who is Reuben when it comes to all the brothers? What is his position? He's the firstborn. He's the oldest brother. Right? So in order, Reuben is the one that they're supposed to be listening to. Right? Read on.
And said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, right, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands to deliver him to his father again.
Right, because he knew that what? His father would be distraught if his son died. Okay? So he said, cast him in the pit, because what his idea was, they would leave, then he would double back and take him out the pit and take him back to the father, right? But that was his plan, right? Read.
And it came to pass, when Joseph was come into his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat.
First they took that coat, read on.
And his coat of many colors that was on him.
Read.
And they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty. There was no water in it.
Right.
And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood?
Right.
Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren were content.
Right. So Judah consented to what? A lesser evil. Right. He says, we don't want to be guilty of killing this cat, man, because he's our brother, and his blood is going to be on our hands. Let's just sell him to these Ishmaelites. All right. Let's sell him. Let's get rid of it. Okay. This way, his blood is not on our hands. All right. So that was a real a slick move right there. Right. So Judah came up with that idea. Read on.
Then there passed by Midianites merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt.
Right.
And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes.
Right. So Reuben's plan was all messed up now, because his whole plan was to let him put him in the pit. After they move on, come back to the pit and pull him out and take him home. He went back to the pit. He was gone. All right. So now Judah's plan foiled Reuben's plan. Right. But they were just trying to appease the spirit that was upon all the brethren, especially the brethren that came out of what? Zilpah and Bilpah, because they been hating on him since they was together. All right. Read on.
And he returned unto his brethren and said, the child is not, and whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, this have we found. Now know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it and said, it is my son's coat, and evil beasts have devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces.
Right, so he saw the blood on the coat, and he came with the understanding that it must be a beast, must be a lion, something out there, then just rip my son to pieces, right, with all the blood that was on his coat. Right, read on.
And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days.
Right.
And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted.
Right.
And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him.
Right.
And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard.
Right. So when these merchantmen got to Egypt, they ended up selling him to the Egyptians. Because that's what they do. They buy and sell. You know what I mean? They hustlers. They ain't about holding on to nothing. They're like, listen, there's a price for anything that we got here. So they go into town and they sold them, right? Chantal? A Midianite. A Midianite is it's another nation. I don't know, Midian was out of Ham, right? Lapra? No, Ham? I know they said Ishmaelites was there. Probably Arabs, right? Yeah. No. Out of how you could be the son of Abraham? You got to be somebody in between there. Son of Abraham?
It's I think it's Genesis chapter 25 verse 1.
The son of Abraham?
Yeah.
So Abraham had.
Another one.
Out of Keturah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Out of Keturah. All right, got it now. All right, son of Abraham out of Keturah. So he is of Hebrew lineage. He's not really Arab because he's coming out of Keturah. Hagar had the son that became the Arabs. It was Ishmael. So Midian is coming out of Keturah. So he is of Hebrew descent, but he's not an Israelite. But he's of Hebrew descent, just like the Ishmaelites are of Hebrew descent, but they're not Israelites. I wouldn't know who Midian is today. That's a good question. We have to figure that part out. All right, but I don't have a track on Midian today, but more than likely, sometimes we group people together, judging by the way they look, and that's not a complete, completely correct. So, totally destroyed. I don't have a history of that. Midian being eradicated.
I know was banned from Midian. I don't think it was right. I don't know.
Oh, we'll look up where Midian is at to this day.
There's all the descendants of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. We got so mixed up, especially around the Mediterranean.
Yeah. The answer is we're not sure where Midian is at to stay. We'll have to look that up and track Midian and see where he's at today. All right, but he's not of the children of Israel. He's still a heathen at the end of the day. All right, okay, brother. Saudi Arabia, the Midianites, they might live in that land of Saudi Arabia, along with Ishmael. Their brethren. So they're seed of Abraham, but just not chosen seed. They were destroyed?
Yeah, they were destroyed. Maybe the nation was, but the remnant.
Yeah, they destroyed the nation of Midian.
They said they slew all the males. Is that not destroying the nation?
All the males of Midian where they was having that war at, So you gotta understand that seed travel. Yeah, somebody stayed behind, some people didn't come to they slew all the males of Midian that was there. Right. And maybe the little ones have some males in the little ones. Right? All right. Right. Well, we'll look it up. We'll look over it. All right, let's read on.
The book of Genesis, chapter 38, and verse 1. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adullamite, whose name was Hirah. And Judah saw that their daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua, and he took her and went in unto her, and she conceived and bare a son, and he called him his name And she conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Shizid when she bare him. And Judah took a wife from his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Most High. Right. And the Most High slew him. Right. And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. Right, because that's according to the law, Con. The brother died, he had no male children. So his brother would go in unto her and raise up seed in his brother's stead. Right? Read. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. Right. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, right, that he spilled it on the ground, right, lest that he should give seed to his brother. Right. So what was the wicked thing he did? Right. Instead of what? So he wouldn't do what? Right. He used a form of contraception, right, so that she would not get pregnant. Okay. The whole reason why he went into Tamar was to get her what? Pregnant. That's the reason. So the sin that he committed was not allowing, right, Tamar to get pregnant. Okay? That was what he was guilty of, preventing Tamar to get pregnant, because the whole reason Tamar was given to him was for her to get pregnant, to have a son, to raise up seed onto his brother. Okay? So his sin is that he did not get her pregnant, or he prevented himself from getting her pregnant. All right? A reason why I'm clarifying this here is because it's often taught in some circles that if you let the seed fall upon the ground, that's sin. That's not sin. Okay? It's sin in this case because he was supposed to be getting her pregnant. That's why he was put with her. Everybody understand that? All right. So that's not sin. Now, we use the scripture and say, oh, that's sin. No. You're adding to the scripture. His sin was he was given a task by his father. He's supposed to fulfill the brother, the task of the brother, right? The brother's task of a man that's died and have not had children is what? To raise up seed onto their brother. More. That's the law of the brother, right? Right. Let's get it. Let's get the law on it. Deuteronomy 25:5. Let's get the law on it. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25 and verse 5. Right. If brethren dwell together, right, and one of them die, right, and have no child, have no what? Have no child, have no children. Come on. The wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger, right? Her husband's brother shall go in unto her. Right. So they dwell together, meaning that they living in the same area, right? And the brother dies; he has no children. The other brother is supposed to lay with that wife to bring up what? Read on. And take her to him to wife. And take as a wife, read on. And perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. And perform the duty of the husband's brother. The husband's brother has a duty. Right, read on. And it shall be that the firstborn which he bears shall succeed in the name of his brother. Right. Which is dead. Right, so what? The firstborn son that they have is supposed to have the name of the brother that died. Okay? And carry on the lineage of the brother that died. Everybody understand that? That's what he was supposed to do. That's what Jacob was telling him to do. He went in on to the woman and let the seed fall upon the ground. Right? So what he did was wicked in that state. All right, let's go back now to Genesis. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass when he went unto his brother's wife that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother.
Right. So what? Because he was selfish. He said he knew this couldn't be a junior to me. This ain't gonna be my seed raised. This gonna be my brother's. And he wasn't looking out for his brother like that. All right. Read on.
And the thing which he did displeased the Most High.
Right.
Wherefore he slew him also.
Right. Most High put a death on him too. Read.
Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shalamah my son be grown. For he said, lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house.
Right.
And in process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted and went up unto his sheep's shearers to Timnath, and he and his friend Hirah and Idulamite.
Right. So who died? Who died? Shua, Judah's wife, died. So he was what? He was in mourning, right? His wife just passed away. And he went to be comforted. Right? So who was comforting him? The sheep shearers, right? Her friend Hirah and the Adulamite. Everybody see that? Hirah the Adulamite was there comforting the brother because his wife just passed away. Read on.
And it was told Tamar, saying, behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep.
Right.
And she put his widow's garment off from her and cover her with a veil and wrap herself and sat in an open place.
Right. So what? She changed her clothes. What did she take off? A widow's garment, right? Now, a widow wore a certain type of garment. Everybody know when they seen that garment that what? Her husband passed away, right? So people respect her in that way. She took that garment off, right? And she veiled up and wrapped herself up. Meaning that what? She disguised herself. Everybody see that? Tamar disguised herself and went down to where Jacob was. We're going to find out why she disguised herself. Read on.
Which is by the way to Timnath. For she saw that Shalamah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife.
Right, so she was like, man, they told me, what did they tell Tamar? That when Shalamah reached of age to be a husband, that he was going to be what? Her husband. Well, she seen that Tamar was that age, that he was grown. I mean, he was of age to be a husband, but nothing ever happened. So she's thinking in her mind, what? They forgot about me. I ain't gonna never have no children, right? She started coming up with all kind of thoughts in her mind, right? Read on.
When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot.
Thought her to be what?
An harlot.
What's an harlot? What? A woman of the night. What? It's a cat woman. What's a harlot? What is a harlot? Shalamah, sleeping around with different men. You're missing a part there, right? Because that's just whoredom. That's a whore sleeping around with different men. What is the difference between a whore and a harlot? How about that? What's the difference? What's the difference? Brew guy. Brew, what is the difference? Money. Money. All right. A harlot sleeps for the cash. All right. You gotta have cash to get with that harlot. It's a profession for her. It's what you would call a prostitute. You know, a hoe could just have slow self-esteem, right? A harlot is out there for the cash money. No romance without finance. Okay? So that's the difference. So she put on harlot's attire. That's what she did. All right? She knew what she was up to. Okay? She wrapped herself, she disguised herself, and she put on that harlot's attire. All right? So this is why when Judah saw her, it's a harlot. Right? She's a woman that's a woman of the night, however you want to call it, right? You know. Read on.
Because she had covered her face.
Because she covered her face, so she disguised herself. He didn't know who that was. Read on.
And he turned unto her by the way and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee.
Right?
For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law.
Right. So what? What he told her? What did he tell her? Well, all right. So he said, go to, for I will come in unto you. I mean that what? He was hiring her services. Right? He was about to purchase her services. So he said, go ahead. I'm coming on to you. I'm going to be comforted. Right? Remember, who just died? His wife just died. I'm not making excuses for the brother. He should not be getting with no harlot. Don't think I'm making excuses for him. I just want you to see the whole situation. Okay? Right? The brother was without. Right? And he was weak in his spirit. Right? In his flesh, I would say. He was weak in his spirit and strong in his flesh. Right? And because of that, he decided that he's going to lay with a harlot. She, now knowing that the brother is weak in his spirit and strong in his flesh right now, she disguised herself as a harlot. So she was well aware of what she was trying to pull. All right, read on.
And she said, what wilt thou give me that thou mayest come in unto me?
Right, how much you going to pay me? Read on.
And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it?
Right, he said, okay, I'm going to pay you a kid from the flock. I'm going to pay you with food, right? Or whatever you want to use that kid. What is a kid? Right, a young calf or goat of the cattle, young of the cattle, right? It's a kid. She said, well, he ain't had that kid with him right now. So he said, what you going to give me to hold on to so I can make sure I get that kid later on, right? So you don't stiff me, right? You don't jet out and don't pay me, right? Read on.
And he said, what pledge shall I give thee? And she said, thy signet and thy bracelets and thy staff that is in thine hand.
Right.
And he gave it her and came in unto her.
Right.
And she conceived by him.
And she conceived by him. Yeah, it was serious. Read on.
And she arose and went away and laid by her veil from her and put on the garments of her widowhood.
Right.
And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, the Adullamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not.
Right. So he went to send the kid. Adullamite went to find the woman and pay her fee, and he couldn't find her. So he came back like, man, I couldn't find her. Why? Because she switched up her garments. She took off that harlot's garment and she put back on her widow garment. You know?
Then he asked the men of that place, saying, where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside?
Right. And
they said, there was no harlot in this place.
Right. So they're like, what are you talking about? What harlot are you talking about? Right. Right. He asking all the men, come on, y'all know the harlot. Y'all seen her. I know y'all seen her. Nah, we don't know what you're talking about. Right? Read on.
And he returned to Judah and said, I could not find her.
Right.
And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place.
Right.
And Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her.
Right.
And it came to pass about 3 months after that, it was told Judah, saying, Tamar thy daughter-in-law has played the harlot.
Right.
And also, behold, she is with child by whoredom.
Right.
And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt.
Let her be what?
Let her be burnt.
He ready to keep put the death on her. He said, Tamar did what? Right? But why? Now 3 months have passed. What happened now? What she what? Belly getting big. You know, throwing up, morning sickness. People wondering what's wrong with you. Oh, you pregnant. How you get pregnant in your harlot, in your widower's attire? You done played the harlot, and you supposed to be in the house waiting on Shula, right? Read on.
When she was brought forth, she said to her father-in-law, saying, by the men whose these are, am I with child? And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these? The signet and the bracelets and the staff.
So she already knows she played a real game on him. You see how she got caught up, right? She was real smart because she knew that this would come to pass, that they would find out that she was pregnant and that they would want to kill her. She gonna have this baby. She ain't gonna die. So she was real slick with this. Read.
And Judah acknowledged them and said, she hath been more righteous than I.
Right? Read on.
Because that I have gave not to Shalamah, my son.
Right?
And he knew her again no more.
Right?
And it came to pass in the time of her travail that, behold, twins were in her womb.
And she had twins. She didn't just get pregnant, she double conceived. Right? Read on.
And it came to pass when she travailed that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first.
Right.
And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out, and she said, how hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez. And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, right? And his name was called Zerah.
Do you understand what happened? The first baby saw coming out. She saw that. She grabbed the hand. She put a thread on the hand. Then all of a sudden, the other baby shot past the first one, and he came out first. They said, "How did you do this?" He said to the baby, "How have you broken forth? How did you come out before the first one was coming out?" Right? To show that this was an unusual birthing that was happening here. It was very unusual, right? So that's how he get his name. Paharaz, right? We got to look up what that name means, right? But he broke forth in front of his brother. Okay, read on.
Chapter 39. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither.
Right, so now we back on Joseph. Joseph now he's in Egypt. How did Joseph get to Egypt? Who sold him? Sold him to who? The Ishmael, right? And they did in return, they sold him to? Merchants sold him to what? To Egypt. All right, read.
And the Most High was with Joseph.
Right.
And he was a prosperous man. And he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian.
Right.
And his master saw that the Most High was with him, and that the Most High made all that he did to prosper in his hand.
Right. So anything Joseph did, he just got the increase. So the master of the house, like a lot of you at the job, you're top employee of the month. Because everything you touch, you just doing it up in there, right? Right? There's no difference, right? So Joseph was like the employee of the month. And everything he did, man, he was making his father, he's making his master, slave master, a lot of money. Right? Read on.
And Joseph found grace in his sight.
Right?
And he served him. And he made him overseer of his house.
Right. So not only that, but he made him a manager. He went up the ranks. He was supervisor, manager, regional manager. He made him over everything. They said, man, I like this guy, Joseph. You're going to go far places in this company. Right? Reason why I say it that way, because you got to see the similarities. A lot of us get caught up in this world thinking we're doing something. You know what I mean? All you're doing is being a very prosperous servant for your slave master. Okay? Read.
And all that he had, he put into his hand.
Man, they got a manager over every department. Read on.
And it came to pass from the time that he have made him overseer in the house. And over all that he had.
Right now, when you make an overseer in your house, you put another man to oversee your house. You're going to run into some problems, right? Let's see what problem we're going to run into. Read on.
And over all that he had, that the Most High blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Most High was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat.
Right.
And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored.
Right, man. Listen, he was over all his accounts, all his finance, everything running his life. Joseph was his main assistant. He was over everything. All right. Read on.
And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph.
Right.
And she said, lie with me.
Of course. So now you know. You don't set the man over your house. He running everything. Now your wife started to look at him like, you know what? He is quite prosperous. Right? And everything, what's we say? Everything he touched, what? Was blessed. So she wanted to be one of those blessed things. Right? She wanted Joseph to touch her. Right? So now she's got a spirit on her? An adulterous spirit on her, right? The adulterous spirit has ascended upon this woman. And now she wants to what? She wants to have an affair with Joseph. Right? Read.
But he refused.
But he was a righteous man, so he what? He refused her. He said, yeah, get away from me, woman. All right, read on.
And he said unto his master's wife,
right?
Behold, my master's willeth not what is with me in the house.
Right.
And he hath committed all that he had to my hand.
Right. He said, my master, he's doing well with me in this house. And he committed all these things into my hand. Read on.
There is none greater in this house than I.
Right.
Neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife.
Right. He said he gave me everything but you. Because you're his wife. You belong to him. So he let her know, listen, you might see me running everything around here, but you belong to your husband. Right? Because is not a wife the possession of a husband? We have to look at women. When you look upon a woman, right, understand you got to know if she has a husband or not, or she has a man, because then she is that man's possession. Meaning that nothing's supposed to go on with you and that woman that man does not know about. Everybody understand that? That's very important to understand that in Torah and in law. Okay? When a woman have a husband, there can't be no interaction with that woman outside of what that husband would be okay with or would sanction. Okay? In this kingdom, they try to teach our women to be like, you got a man, but you're not, but he don't rule over you, and you can go. It's not like that in Israel. All right, everybody understand that? Let's prove that. Give me in the Apocrypha. 33. Is it? Or 39? Yeah, 36, 20. There you go, 36:24. Oh yeah, I'll get 9 too also. For now, 36:24.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession.
Right. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession. Your wife belongs to you. Everybody understand this? Read.
A help like unto himself.
That's why Joseph was over everything but the wife. Because who's the wife supposed to help? Her husband, the king.
Son.
Right? It's in the Apocrypha. Those that looking. What page you on, Apocrypha?
92.
Page 92 in your Apocrypha. All right. You don't have an Apocrypha, gotta get one. All right, I think we have some in the front, but read on.
And a pillar of rest.
And a what?
And a pillar of rest.
She's supposed to be a help and a pillar of rest for her husband. That's what the wife is. Okay? So that's why Joseph was given everything in the house, control of everything but his wife. Because his wife is exclusive for the service of her husband. Okay? Also, we're going to get chapter 9. Matter of fact, chapter 9 and start with verse in the Ecclesiasticus, still in the book of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 9, and we're going to start with verse 8. Matter of fact, we'll start a little higher than that. Start verse 3. Yeah, I know we could, but
the book of Sirach,
Greg? Huh? We're looking at why did the Egyptian put everything in his house in Joseph's hand except for his wife? Huh? Would that apply to who? Oh, now, understand this. All the sons of Noah, right? I want you to keep this in mind, was taught the commandments of God. The commandments of God was in the hands of all the people on the earth. Okay? They perverted the laws of God. Right? But they were aware of them. Okay? They were aware of them. Right? Some kept more than others. Right? When you go to certain lineages, they kept more commandment than others, but some totally forget about those commandments. Right? That's why they're all guilty. Okay? Because at first, Noah taught all his sons Torah. Right? As the process of time goes on, you see the nations go further and further and further away from the Most High. Why? Because the Most High was not with them. The Most High preserved himself with us, with the children of Israel. So we were constantly trying to do what's right. But the Most High established right from wrong on the earth. So even the Egyptians knew there's no adultery. Even though they would commit adultery, they knew that was wrong. Right? But their God, they would come up with their philosophy and their God, just like in today's societies, right? A lot of people do wrong. They know they're doing wrong, but they come up with their own philosophy on why they're doing wrong, okay? So this is why we're going through these scriptures, understanding why Joseph had power over everything but his wife, right? Because even the Egyptians knew that a man's wife belonged to that man. Okay, read on.
The book of Sirach, chapter 9 and verse 3. Meet not with an harlot,
right?
Lest thou fall into her snares.
Right, so what? That's what Judah messed up, met with a harlot, right? The scriptures say, meet not with a harlot or you fall into her snare. What is her snare? Her trap. What is the trap of a harlot? Her body, right? Her attractiveness, her body, her words, her flattering words, whatever the case may be. Right? Read on.
Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer.
Right.
Lest thou be taken with her attempts.
Right. Now, a woman, she a singer, you know what I mean? That'll, you know, and she's a harlot and a singer, you're really in trouble. All right? All right? You be enchanted by a woman. All right? Read on.
Gaze not on a maid, that thou shalt not fall by those things that are precious in her.
Right. Don't gaze at a maid. Don't look at what do you mean gaze at her? stare at her beauty, her body, things of that sort. Don't gaze on her. For you won't fall for the things that's precious in her. Meaning that what? If she don't belong to you, you know, you're looking past, man. Don't gaze. Don't sit there, getting that whole eye feel, right? Because you don't even know you don't know this woman, right? Read on.
Give not thy soul unto harlots,
right?
That thou lose not thine inheritance.
Right, because you don't give your soul unto harlots, your life unto women women of the night, as they call them, right? Then what? It's gonna destroy your whole spirit with the Most High. Read on.
Look not round about thee in the streets of the city. Neither wander thou in the solitary places thereof.
Come on.
Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman,
right?
And look not upon another's beauty,
right?
For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman,
right? Don't look upon another's beauty, meaning that what? This woman is what? Belong to someone else. So don't look upon her beauty like that. Okay? In this society, they promote. They don't care if the woman got a man or a husband or what. They promote her body, right? Look at what was it? One of the most popular couples in hip hop, right? Who's that? Jay-Z and Beyonce. She's always running around the stage in underwear, right? And he don't got a problem with that. In fact, he's saying, look at her. Okay? That whole situation is evil, right? Woman got a husband. Woman ain't never supposed to dress like that. But if you got a husband, more so, you're supposed to put away your beauty. Everybody understand that? Moshe. Well, J-Lo was married to everybody. So I can't even count J-Lo. You know what I mean? Because she had many husbands. Right? Yeah, Mark Anthony had an issue with that. And that's why she had a problem with him. Right? Because he wasn't having that. He still had a little spirit left for him. And said, damn it, you my wife, man. Why you out there, yeah. Read on.
For herewith love is kindled as a fire. Sit not at all with another man's wife.
Right. When you gaze upon a woman and you concentrate too much on her beauty, what happens? What's kindled? Love is kindled like a fire. You're going to start to what? Desire that woman. You will start to desire that woman. Does men understand that? That's why you got to be mindful. Right? You ain't put the hat on with, oh yeah, she's just my best friend. We hang out all the time. Yeah, right. Right? You your friend, find a brother. Okay? Because you're going to start to gaze upon that woman. The same thing with our women. You got a friend, let it be a female. Right? Don't be spending too much time with a male friend. Everybody understand that? Read.
Nor sit down with her in thine arms.
Well, we just saw that verse again.
Sit not at all with another man's wife.
Sit not at all with another man's wife. I mean, you can't have, dinner plans with another man's wife. Everybody understand that? No, you can't meet up at the bar. No, we can't meet up at the bar. You have a husband, right? Read on.
Nor sit down with her in thine arms.
No, consoling her. Oh, it's so terrible. You won't believe what happened to me. And then they want you, and they lean on you, right? And then you're like, all right? If you don't put yourself in that situation, your hand won't have to do this, right? She shouldn't be sitting next to you in the first place. Everybody understand this? This is wisdom, man. This is going to save you from a lot of foolishness. All right? Read on.
And spend not thy money with her at the wine.
Right? Don't be like, well, all right, give me 2 more drinks, 3 more rounds, 2 more rounds, 5 more rounds. Next thing you know, y'all both drunk. Right? And then you be blaming it on the alcohol. Right? And blow it up, right? You blame it on that, right? Read on.
Lest thine heart incline unto her.
What's going to happen?
Lest thine heart incline unto her.
Your heart's going to incline. You're going to start to desire this woman. She is a woman. God forbid she's a beautiful woman, right? Now at the drink, yeah, you console her for something, whatever the case may be. you send yourself up for failure. All right? Most High give us wisdom. Don't go to the drink. Don't sit with them. Don't do nothing of that. Right? No dinner plans with another man's wife. Everybody understand that? All right. Out of your mouth to the Most High's ears. Right? Read on.
And so through thy desire, thou shalt fall into destruction.
Into what?
And through thy desire, thou fall into destruction.
And through the desire, you will fall into destruction. Okay? Do not fall into destruction. Right? Don't give Satan no wins. Stay far from a married woman. You can talk to them. Listen, we interact in our congregation. Some of our women are married, what the case may be, we interact. Right? We look out for one another. Right? They may even give you a phone call about some situation that has to do with something. Right? Be mindful of this. Tell that husband, right? Make sure you have communication. Right? There's no reason, right? Particularly not calling to shoot the breeze. You know, I just calling to see how you doing today. I'm like, how am I doing what? Right? We have to have that mentality because we honor what the Father said. Okay? The scriptures ain't lying to us. So, and sometimes you, as a brother, you got to be your sister's keeper. And sometimes as a sister, you got to be your brother's keeper. If you see the brother calling you, knowing you a married woman, right? Talking about, yeah, I was wondering how you doing. Right? You got to cut that in the spirit right there. Like, oh, you going off. You know what I'm saying? Don't be calling me how I'm doing. Don't worry about how I'm doing. I'm good. Right? Most High is great. Right? All praise to Yahweh. By Shalamah, they'll get the idea. You start speaking Hebrew, they go, since I'll holler at you later. All right? Just start throwing that Hebrew out there. This is words of wisdom, man. You know what I mean? Let's go back now in Genesis. We're at 39 and 8. 39 and 8. Genesis 39, verse 8.
But he refused and said unto his master's wife,
right?
Behold, my master's wotteth not what is with me in the house.
Right?
And he hath committed all that he had to my hand.
Read on.
There is none greater in his house than I.
Come on.
Neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee.
But thee, right? But his wife. Read on.
Because thou art his wife.
Right?
How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against the Most High?
Right. So how you going to cause me to what? To do this sin against me. What sin was she trying to get him to do? Adultery. Because what is adultery? I need commandment. I need law. I need verse. What's the verse? All right, Manatazar, I'll give you one.
20 and 10.
20 and 10. Okay, that's your one for today.
Oh, no, I got another one.
No, you ain't got another one. Leviticus 20 and 10. I know you got all the precepts, man.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 10.
Right.
And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife.
With a what?
With another man's wife.
Read on.
Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife.
Read.
The adulterer.
Right.
And the adulteress.
Right. Wait. Everybody check that out. They both will be guilty of adultery. Everybody understand that? The adulterer, which is the man, and the adulteress, which is the woman. She's married. Once a woman is married, once a woman have a man, that's the end of that conversation. Everybody understand that? But if you lay with that woman, then you're an adulterer and she's an adulteress. Read on.
Shall surely be put to death.
And that's a crime punishable by murder. Okay, by death, not by murder. Right? You'll be put to death. Okay. Now, there's mercy out there because, you know, we read about mercy, we read about Reuben, right? Did not Reuben was guilty of this? Was not Reuben guilty of this? Right. Was he put to death? No. So there's situations where there's mercy applied, but you don't want to find yourself on the other side of this law. Okay? Because the Most High might not have mercy on you. It's up to the Most High who he have mercy on. If any of us that have been in this life and we have committed these things, know that the Most High had mercy on you. Thank him for the mercy and don't do sin not anymore. Everybody understand that? All right. Right? He had mercy on David. Right? Even though he put David through a lot of tribulations because of the adultery that he committed, he still had mercy on him. So there is mercy with the Most High God. All right. But let's not tempt the Most High. All right. Read on. Oh, that's it on the law of adultery. Go back now to 39.
The book of Genesis, chapter 39 and verse 10. Uh-huh. And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her.
So she kept making what? Making passes at him, propositioning him. Every day she's at the brother, right? Trying to lure him in, trying to seduce him, right? But it wasn't working. Joseph was a strong man of the Lord. All right, read on.
That he hearkened not unto her to lie by her, right, or to be with her.
Right. So sometimes she would say, well, just lay down next to me. No, I ain't falling for that. I ain't gonna lay down next to you, by you, anywhere in your vicinity. Right? Right? You know, old Gad used to say to a woman, the only time we lie together, we get hit by the same bus. Right?
And it came to pass about this time, right, that Joseph went into his house to do his business, right, and there was none of the men of the house there within. Mm-hmm. And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left.
So now she yoked him up. She caught him by his garment and said, lie with me right now. Right? She went to business. Right now. Read on.
And he left his garment in her hand and fled.
He had to tear away from her so bad that all she was holding was a garment. He dropped out that garment and ran away. Right? He wasn't playing. He was getting away from her. Right? That's it. Flee from the face of sin. Like from the face of a serpent, right? He fled from that woman till the garment was left in her hand. Right? Read on.
And got him out.
And got him out of there. Read.
And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying,
here it come.
See, he hath brought in Hebrew unto us to mock us, and he came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice.
She'll flip the script on her brother. We've seen this all the time, right? When that woman cried, she cried out. If you ain't got no evidence, you in trouble, man. Okay? So she flipped the whole script on him, saying, oh, she tried to get with me. Why did she do this? Because what? She was mad. Right? Her feelings was hurt. She threw herself at this man refusing her. Right? She was scorned. Right? Read on.
And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until the Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to those words, saying, the Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out. And it came to pass that when his master heard the words of his wife, right, which she spake unto him, saying, after this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled.
Right.
And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. But the Most High was with Joseph and shewed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
Right.
And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it.
Right. So what? Now he became, everywhere he go, they like put him on top. You know what I mean? He in prison, he become the top prisoner. Wherever he did, he will be, he's a man. Right? That's when the Spirit is with you, it can't be taken from you. Right? No matter what your situation is. All right? I'm on.
Proverbs 16:7.
Get that? Proverbs 16:7.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 7. When a man's ways please the Most High,
that's right, he
maketh even his enemies be at peace with him.
Right, so what? When the Most High is with you, no one can be against you. So what? Even in prison, he became the top prisoner. Right? All the prisoners was working for him. Right? He was the man. Okay? Even the prison keeper was calling on him for things. All right? Read on.
When a man's better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right.
Let's go back to Genesis 39:22.
And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it.
Right.
The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Most High was with him. And that which he did, the Most High made it to prosper.
Right. So the keeper he made the keeper's job easy. He said, man, Joseph came down here and set everything straight. All right. So he could just sit back and let Joseph handle it all, because everything Joseph said, it brought prosperity. All right. It brought prosperity even in prison, man. All right. So that's a testament that we should all learn from. No matter what your condition is and your situation is, if you're moving in the spirit of the Most High will make your hands prosper. Come. And with that, we're going to take the break. Is any announcements that we need to do before we break? What we got? Hanukkah location. Does everybody know the location of the Hanukkah? No, we don't. Okay. The location of the Hanukkah. Matter of fact, you got internet, right? Could you bring up that location up there? Could you show it, the soccer club in Sunrise Soccer Club, Sunrise, Florida. You just open up another tab and put in Sunrise Soccer Club. Put it in Nob Hill. Should come up for Nob Hill or come up with a Sunset Strip. All right. Click website. That don't show the building, but that's where it's at. 10200, right? 10200 Sunset Strip. Okay. Sunrise.
So it's not Nob Hill.
It's on the corner of Nob Hill and Sunset Strip. Okay. It's right at the corner of Nob Hill and Sunset Strip. Okay. Is there a picture of the actual building? Is there more pictures? So you can see what the building look like? I'll go up and I don't know, click on the picture itself. No? All right. Well, that's where it's at. That's where it's being held tomorrow. 6 o'clock, huh? Everybody got it?
What time is that?
6 o'clock? Yeshua? 5 o'clock? Yep. We try to be there about 4:30 though. All right. So I know we got just an hour to get ready. All right. Chantel? No, the food is already being taken care of. Yeah. Donations, though, those have not given their donations yet, we need them desperately, right? It's 50 per family, 25 per person. If you have not given it yet, we need it. It's ASAP. If you can't have it today, just bring it to this feast tomorrow. Shemshwan. Right. If you're still not on the WhatsApp, let us know so we can get your name and your number on the WhatsApp. All right. All right. If you don't know what WhatsApp is, just please Sam Shawan. He'll hook you up. You get the WhatsApp on your phone, and it get you right. All right. So you can be on our WhatsApp. That's what we use to communicate with everybody on all the events. The address is out on the WhatsApp. So make sure you have that. All right. But make sure, whoever can give your donations yet, please bring them in. All right. It's a very, very, very beautiful venue. Right. And it is costly. So please bring your donations in. What else we got as announcements? Any other announcements that I need to be aware of? That the congregation needs to be aware of? December 7th? Okay. New moon is December 7th. So if you want to get things set up ahead of time, December 7th is new moon. Any other announcements? Nothing else? Nobody? Nothing? Going once, going twice? I'm on? That's what he said. I guess we got to do the preparations today, right, Marsha? Khan. So we're going to do a preparation meeting, towards the end of the service for everybody, what you bring in for the new moon, the next new moon, which will be here. But it'll be during the Feast of the Chanukah, all right, the Feast of Dedication. So, just keep that in mind. Anything else? Any other announcements? Anything? Okay. All right, that being said, enjoy your break. We'll reconvene in about a half an hour. Hallelujah. All right.